In It Together SC and the Diabetes Action Council of South Carolina present Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday on Coping with Trey Taylor. Coping. In It Together SC presents Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday here on Coping. I'm Trey Taylor. Thank you again so much for joining us. Today, as always, we're coping with doing diabetes your way. Dr. Phyllisa Deroze joins us. She's the Director of Content Strategy at dQ&A and will share some information on doing diabetes your way. It's a new initiative that they have launched. And Phyllisa, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
We're excited to hear Doing Diabetes Your Way. You guys, a new initiative. We're going to talk with Dr. Deroze in just a minute, but first, your COVID community updates. SCDHEC has your most up-to-date list of times, dates, and location for COVID testing, also COVID vaccinations and flu shots in and around South Carolina. Visit scdhec.gov for more information. Now, throughout the show, you will see scrolling at the bottom of the screen all kinds of information, including where you can get your rapid tests by emailing this information on the screen. Also, veterans getting their COVID tests and COVID shots at the VA. We'll also scroll at the bottom of the screen information about where you can get your COVID vaccine and COVID test at retail outlets throughout South Carolina, including Kroger, CVS, and Walgreens. And then in Columbia, South Carolina, not only can you get a free COVID vaccination and test at the Comet bus system, but you can also catch a free ride via the Comet. Also, if you or someone you know is having some technology issues getting set up, you can call Get Set Up, and they will help you set up your COVID vaccination test or appointment for a test. Also, we have financial resources scrolling at the bottom of the screen, including funeral expenses. FEMA is reimbursing people for COVID-related funeral expenses, and also Lexington County Bill Assistance Program and the South Carolina Energy Bill Assistance Program for SC housing. If you or someone you know is having a challenge coping, the South Carolina Department of Mental Health has SC Hopes. Please call this number 24/7 if you are coping with something. In the city of Columbia, the Heritage Ball is going on in just a couple of weeks. If you want more information about that, you can see that information on the screen. And throughout the show, we will be scrolling all types of information. You are watching Coping. We're giving you info and advice to help you thrive and survive in life, because we will always be coping with something. Of course, today is Wednesday. It's our Wellness Wednesday segment, and it is sponsored by In It Together SC. Go to the In It Together Facebook page for more information about In It Together SC. There you will find all types of resources, including where you can find a diabetes support group, where you can get the information that you need to live a healthy life. We're also streaming live on the home of Coping, hosted by Trey Taylor. That's the Tailor Made production page on Facebook. Please go over there, hit like and share and follow. Find out when we go live every Wednesday for Wellness Wednesday, and then, of course, on Thursday and Friday. We're streaming live on our YouTube channel. Please hit the subscribe button. You'll find 3+ years of information to help you cope, including interviews, resources, and all types of information. We also have a presence on Instagram and also on Twitter. I'm Trey Taylor, and you are watching Coping, featuring and hosted by me, Trey Taylor. It's Wellness Wednesday from In It Together SC.
Hi, I'm Judy Gatson. As a news anchor, wife, and mom, I know how important it is to take care of our health. Part of taking care of our health is knowing if you're at risk of type 2 diabetes. Prediabetes is a serious health condition and puts you at risk for developing type 2 diabetes. It's estimated that more than 1.3 million South Carolinians have it, and up to 90% have no idea. Take a moment to visit inittogethersc.org to take an online test to find out your risk of prediabetes and how to join a diabetes prevention program that takes the guesswork out of losing weight, eating better, and being more active. You can learn new ways to stay healthy and sustain those changes over time. When you join, you'll even get support from a trained lifestyle coach to help you set and achieve realistic goals. Go to inittogethersc.org, brought to you by the Diabetes Action Council of South Carolina.
Computers, they're a part of our everyday life. But when they're not working, they're an everyday problem. So call Computers Unique, your everyday solution. 803-351-5821. Is your computer running slow? Won't turn on? Do you need a screen replaced? Or maybe you just need another computer? Well, Computers Unique is your one-stop shop for all your computer needs. They have a wide variety of new and pre-owned PCs, Macs, and tablets. So call Computers Unique, Dutch Square Mall. 803-351-5821. 803-351-5821.
Thank you so much for joining us on Coping. I'm Trey Taylor. We're giving you info and advice to help you thrive and survive in life because we will always be coping with something. Today, we're coping with diabetes, doing diabetes your way. Don't forget, we are streaming live on the In It Together Facebook page. Please go over there, hit like and share and follow, and find out how and where you can find a diabetes support group so you can live a healthy life. We're also streaming live on the In It Together YouTube channel. Now, we're also streaming live on the home of Coping with Trey Taylor, the Tailor Made Production Facebook page. Please go over there, hit like and share and follow. Find out when we go live every Wednesday for Wellness Wednesday and also on Thursday and Friday. We're streaming live on our YouTube channel where you can find 3 years of information, resources, and more about how to cope. And we also have a presence on Instagram and also on Twitter. I'm Trey Taylor, and today we are coping with diabetes. Dr. Phyllisa Deroze joins us. She is the Director of Content Strategy at dQ&A. They recently launched a new diabetes educational platform called Doing Diabetes Your Way. You can see the information on the screen. The intention was to bring easy to follow diabetes tips to the BIOP community, which is Black, Indigenous, and people of color. Dr. Phyllisa, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me. It is a pleasure to be here today.
Thank you. So listen, what does dQ&A, what is dQ&A?
Okay, so dQ&A is a social enterprise that focuses 100% on diabetes experience research. And at dQ&A, because they focus 100% on diabetes research, it is the thing that we focus on, we honor, we respect people with diabetes. So entering into this space is something that happened from the very beginning. It's not like other organizations that are like, oh, let's get into diabetes now.
Yes.
This is something that's been at the core of the company since its beginning. Our founders are Kelly Close and Richard Wood.
And why was it important for them to advocate for diabetes?
So our founder, CEO, Kelly Close, she lives with diabetes, and everyone at the company is touched by diabetes in some way. I myself live with diabetes, and like I said, everyone either is living with diabetes or they have a close relative or a child with diabetes. So it is the thing.
Right. So do you guys focus from the perspective of the diabetic or the diabetic's family or all of it?
So we look at diabetes lived experiences. So it's the person who has gotten the diagnosis, but also parents who have children with diabetes as well. So we understand that when a person is diagnosed, it impacts like everyone. So we strongly consider caregivers as well.
Yeah. So you just launched, as I said in the intro, a new initiative called Doing Diabetes Your Way. Explain the concept and why was it launched?
So the concept behind Doing Diabetes Your Way is so that people can feel like they are in control of their diabetes. One of the things that we noticed in interviewing people who are a part of our community is that sometimes, especially when people are newly diagnosed, they feel as though they must give up part of themselves to manage diabetes. I experienced this when I didn't know if I could eat grits. So as a Southerner, grits are essential. But when you're seeing people who, yes, it is like essential to the soul. When you're seeing people who say, now that you have diabetes, you must eat these foods and the foods
and not eat these other foods.
And they are not there, you think maybe I can't exist in my own skin and my own cultural being. And so doing diabetes your way is an empowerment movement so that people know that they can do it their way. They can still manage their diabetes if they like to eat grits, if they like to cycle, if they like to travel. Like, you take diabetes with you in your life. So that's the start of this, is so that people know that there's no one way to do diabetes. Diabetes management can be done your way.
Right, right. We're looking at the website now, the Doing Diabetes Your Way website. Dr. Phyllisa Deroze joins us. She's the Director of Content Strategy at dQ&A. The Doing Diabetes Your Way is an initiative she's been telling us about. So I can see on the website, it says it offers quick tips to make your life with diabetes easier and videos. Tell us why the videos were important part of this initiative.
The videos are important because it adds like supplementary material to diabetes management. Typically, when people are diagnosed, it's in a hospital or it's at a primary care physician's office and they're giving pamphlets, right? So it's a lot of material to read through. But if you can get like a nugget of what you need through a quick
Right.
video, and you can see, okay, this is how it looks to go into a grocery store and to, like, what am I picking out? Here's what it looks like to go for a walk. When you hear exercise and you're reading it, now you can see physical activity can be really easy. Our thing also with this project of Doing Diabetes Your Way is to deliver video content that can be consumed relatively quickly. So all of our videos are an estimated 5 minutes of people's time. And they're rolling out, as you see on the website now, we have 3 videos. We are rolling out videos roughly every 2.5 to 3 weeks.
Great. So people always have new and different content that they can access.
And that's correct.
Yeah. So this one we see is about how to make healthy food choices when you're away from home, especially when you're traveling. This is another video, restoring the joy of eating, and then check out ways to get daily physical activity. And then this first video, I guess, is the, kind of the introduction to doing diabetes your way. Tell us some of the tips that you share in these videos, Dr. Deroze.
So, for example, one of the tips is easy when it comes to getting in physical activity. We know that sometimes the weather doesn't permit long walks on the park. We know that sometimes even just the environment you live in does not permit long walks on the park. But everyone goes shopping for the most part. I know COVID kind of changed that. Most people started ordering groceries. But if you do go shopping at, say, a grocery store, you can do 2 laps around the store before you start actually shopping, right?
That's a
So it's
great tip.
little things like that. We wanted to make sure that this series included easy to follow tips like that. One in the video, I share what I do with my morning potatoes. Like, I love potatoes. I mean, however you cook a potato.
Me too, girl. French fries, baked potato, mashed potatoes, hash browns. I love them too.
Yes, that is me. I'm like, you can throw it on the ground, pick it up, and I'm gonna eat it, right? So one of the things I love is home fries. That is just my thing. And I know sometimes people put onions in them. So you have the addition of a vegetable there. But I go an extra step further and I put red peppers, green peppers, onions, cauliflower, broccoli. And so by the time you have all of those non-starchy vegetables in there with the potatoes, when you put your fork on there, you're not taking in as many carbohydrates as you would if it was just the potatoes. So that's like an easy addition. You're still getting, your home fry feel, and you're getting your vegetables as well.
Awesome, awesome. Dr. Phyllisa Deroze joins us. She is with the diet. She's director of content strategy at dQ&A. She's telling us about the Diabetes Your Way initiative that dQ&A has, and it features short videos giving you the information that you need to deal and manage with your diabetes. That's pretty much what it is, right, Doc?
Yes, yes. And we want people to walk away feeling empowered. When I was diagnosed with diabetes, I honestly thought I wasn't going to tell anybody because I just
Right,
felt
right.
a heavy weight of shame, embarrassment, diabetes stigma. I didn't know what I did to cause it. All I
Yeah,
knew about diabetes were like grim things. It was going to lead to
losing your limbs.
exactly amputation, those kinds of
Yeah.
things. And this gives people hope. This gives people the feeling that they can do it. You don't have to overhaul your entire life tomorrow to
Yeah.
effectively manage diabetes. We also give people advice about the financial burden because that's a part of diabetes care, especially in the United States. It can be financially crippling for some people, and they
Mhm.
might not say that to their friends and family. So, friends and family may say, hey, shouldn't you be doing XYZ?
Right, right.
Sometimes XYZ takes a lot of financial resources.
Yeah.
So, one of our videos and a part of the resources that we have is about giving people information for financial savings. It's also about mental and emotional well being because you have to address that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
we try to touch the whole person in our series.
Right. The In It Together SC presents Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday here on Coping, hosted by Trey Taylor. We're talking about Diabetes Your Way, doing Diabetes Your Way. It's a new initiative from dQ&A. Dr. Phyllisa Deroze joins us. She is director of content strategy over there, and she has been telling us about this new initiative. Now, what are some of the other, in addition to the videos, the great videos, are there other resources that are available for people with diabetes?
Yes, there are. So if you go to the website, there is a link there that says click here to access our free downloadable PDF. That PDF gives you a brief written supplement to the videos. So each topic, food, exercise, emotional well-being, financial savings, that PDF has the information there to accompany those videos. Also,
Mhm.
we give people in there like a quick carb count. Like one of the pages, if you print it out and put it on your refrigerator, it's a reminder of like the average of how many carbs are in certain foods. So that's important to have. So we have that. Also, if you scroll down to the bottom of our web page, we have down there, the very bottom, a link that will take you directly to resources. And the resources page was to give people like a quick favorite 4 things that are highlighted. So that way,
Mhm.
diabetes tips you can use. So that way, it's like the Cliff Notes version of all the information
Right.
that you got at your doctor's office or that you got from your endo. So you scroll through each of those topics. It's like, here's our favorite 4. We've read those pamphlets for you. So if you're a busy mom or a busy dad or whomever, you just don't have the time to read it all, we've narrowed it down there for you. And we've also included the link. So if you do want to read the full thing, it is there for you.
Why was it important to kind of focus on this particular demographic?
This demographic was extremely important because I'm a part of the demographic, and it is a demographic that is oftentimes overlooked and is oftentimes misunderstood. I remember when I went to see a nutritionist right after I was diagnosed with diabetes, and I didn't know if I could still eat cornbread, hoe cakes, Hoppin' John. And when I asked about these, they had no idea what I was talking about. And
Right. That's
so
interesting.
it was like, well, how can
Because it's a
you
cultural thing. It's cultural.
exactly, how can you effectively teach me about my condition if you aren't aware of these things that are essential to me? Also, at dQ&A, when we are asking people about their diabetes experience, it's important that that information gets back to industry makers. So we know now from many TV commercials that diabetes technology is improving. People are wearing CGMs on their arms and these kinds of
Yeah.
things. Well, what about our experience with those devices? Does the
Mm,
color matter? Does the size matter? Does the location matter? Like, we have to be a part of that conversation.
the conversation. Yeah.
Exactly. And so when you're a part of the dQ&A community and we're asking about your diabetes experience, you have an opportunity to tell the industry, here's my experience. Here's how I'm feeling about this. Yes, I like my insulin pump. You know what? My doctor never told me about insulin pumps. That's important information. So in a way, it's like there's a common phrase in the diabetes space, nothing by us without us. And so
Mm,
if you are building these devices, if you're making new formulas for medication, we should have a say in that. And
right.
so part of this initiative is to come from a place of inclusivity and understanding so that people
Yeah.
know there's a space for you to have a voice. Before I learned about dQ&A, I had no idea how I could even tell someone in industry that the insulin that I used burned when I used it. But by being a part of the dQ&A community and being asked about different insulins, I was able to say this insulin kind of stung, when it went in my
Mhm.
body. And I know that that's getting back to the people who are making these medications, devices, technologies, and insulins.
Yeah, you mentioned being able to be part of the conversation. I know one of the entities with GQ&A does just that. Not only kind of gives information to the powers that be, other industries, but then connects diabetics to that information. Tell us about Diatribe.
Yes. So Diatribe is a nonprofit organization that produces literature for people with diabetes to be able to read and learn about what's happening in the larger diabetes ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
And it is where I personally learned that, like, the Freestyle Libre, which is a CGM, was available for people with type 2 diabetes. For a while, I thought technology was only available for people with type 1 diabetes, and I was
Mm,
diagnosed with type 2 for 8 years. And so Diatribe provides the resources for people to learn about what's going on all over the diabetes ecosystem.
right. Right. And then people can then the diabetics can have in I guess access that information through GQ&A or
So
doing
with DQ&A,
diabetes your way.
So when you go to Doing Diabetes Your Way, we invite you to join our community. Once you click that button that you'd like to be a part of our community, then we send you a survey. And one of the things that we do here at dQ&A is we pay people for their time. So that is very, very, very important. We are not just asking you about your diabetes experience and doing nothing about it. So we pay you for your time. So people who are a part of the community, they take quarterly surveys, and we send out the quarterly survey. You take the quarterly survey, you're compensated for your time, and then that information is into the cycle, right? Like, it goes to industry. This is how people feel about certain things. Also, I want to say that we never spam
Mm,
people. That's important. I hate when I join things and then I'm getting spam. We never spam
right,
people.
right.
We never sell your identifying information. Like, we treasure and honor all people who are in our community. So I do want to just say that.
Yeah. We're talking to Dr. Phyllisa Deroze. She is with Doing Diabetes Your Way. It is an initiative with a dQ&A. If you want more information, please see her information on the screen. And of course, we've been talking about the amazing website that gives information, resources, and short videos, how-to videos, so to speak, so that you can do diabetes your way, specifically for African American, indigenous people, and people of color. Now, even before Dr. Phyllis, you got with dQ&A, you were a diabetes advocate before this, and you actually wrote a book. Tell us about that.
So I was diagnosed with diabetes in 2011, and I practically started my diabetes lifestyle blog from my hospital bed when I was there for 6 days straight. And over that time, I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. I lived that way for 8 years. Turns out I was misdiagnosed for 8 years. I live with latent
Oh my
autoimmune
goodness.
diabetes adults. Yes. And a lot of people who have LADA are misdiagnosed. And then I had a baby in 2015, and I realized that she's growing up seeing her mommy manage diabetes. And there wasn't a resource that would give me a tool to have that conversation with her. And so just this year, she and I co-wrote Diabetes Helpers together to honor children who have loved ones in their life who's managing diabetes.
Right. So you're coming at it from so many different perspectives, from the family's perspective, from your perspective, because diabetes is a family affair. Not only does the person that has diabetes, have to deal with it, but there's so many things. Your child could get diabetes, and everyone else who, you're cooking, you're eating, your total existence is,
Yeah.
you know, is regulated
Yeah.
because of your diabetes condition, and everybody on board needs to be on board to know what's going on. So I love that. I love that you're coming from
Exactly.
the family perspective.
Yeah, it's very important, especially if people are taking insulin. This is one of my plugs that I love to make. At dQ&A, we found out that African Americans carry emergency glucagon significantly less than the white counterparts. And when
Mm,
it comes to having emergency glucagon, when you need it, you need it. Like you need someone to be able to give you that injection because it's an
right.
emergency. And so I would just encourage anyone who has diabetes to just check to see if your glucagon is not expired. Mine was expired for years. But I needed it 2 Christmases ago. And because I
Oh,
needed it 2 Christmases ago, I'm very thankful that it was there. But it also made me realize that I needed to have a conversation with my family about
mhm.
diabetes. So my daughter now knows a code word to bring me an emergency kit.
Mm.
And my husband knows as well. Because sometimes when you are living with diabetes, sometimes you just don't want your family in your business. You just,
Yeah. Look,
you
you
just
don't have
don't
to be
want
living with diabetes to not want your family in your business, girl. You just
so
don't.
so I'm like, okay, if there is an emergency, they must
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking forward to bringing more awareness to that so that, the next time dQ&A, we look at that African Americans aren't in that category of not having that emergency glucagon and care. So yeah, there's so much that we learn from our community and that we're able to talk about, but I could be here all day with that.
Well, listen, we appreciate you joining us, giving us all of this great information. dQ&A is doing great with the Doing Diabetes Your Way initiative. You can see Dr. Deroze's information on the screen. If you'd like to contact her or access the website Doing Diabetes Your Way, please contact her or log on to the website. If you or someone you know is living with diabetes and could take advantage of all of this great information, and then again, her book is also available if you need some resources to help you and your family deal with your diabetes diagnosis, because as we said, it is definitely a family affair. You can see the book there, and her beautiful little girl. Is she 8 now? She's about 8 now.
She's 7 now, and our book is available on Amazon too. So if people want to just go to Amazon.com, they can.
Awesome. Dr. Deroze, thank you so much for joining us today on coping. Good luck to you. God bless, and continue. Thank you, and continue the work with dQ&A and your own personal advocacy, because this is such an issue that plagues the BIOP community, actually, and we need to be more conscientious about it. And any way, new, old, any way we can get the message and the information out to people so that they can take charge of their health is a great thing. So thank you so much for your help. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me on the show. And I just want to salute you for the work that you do on these Wellness Wednesdays, and of course all the other days as well. But thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Coming up, we'll be right back with what's coming up on coping and also our devotional. That's next. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Judy Gatson. As a news anchor, wife, and mom, I know how important it is to take care of our health. Part of taking care of our health is knowing if you're at risk of type 2 diabetes. Prediabetes is a serious health condition and puts you at risk for developing type 2 diabetes. It's estimated that more than 1.3 million South Carolinians have it, and up to 90% have no idea. Take a moment to visit inittogethersc.org to take an online test to find out your risk of prediabetes and how to join a diabetes prevention program that takes the guesswork out of losing weight, eating better, and being more active. You can learn new ways to stay healthy and sustain those changes over time. When you join, you'll even get support from a trained lifestyle coach to help you set and achieve realistic goals. Go to inittogethersc.org, brought to you by the Diabetes Action Council of South Carolina.
Thank you so much for joining us for Coping with Trey Taylor. If you have a product or service that could help someone cope with COVID, please email copingwithtreytaylor@gmail.com. We would love for you to be a proud sponsor, just like In It Together SC and the Diabetes Action Council. They sponsor Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday here on Coping with COVID. Javis Tax Services, Palmetto Media Connections, the Fifth Circuit Solicitor's Office, Attorney Byron Gibson, Agape Counseling and Training Services, Black Pages, Black Expo, the Comet Bus System, and Computers Unique, Dutch Square Mall. We also would love for you to be a guest on the show. If you have a story or initiative that could help someone cope with COVID, please email booking@copingwithtreytaylor.com. Booking@copingwithtreytaylor.com. That information is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. We would love to feature you on the show because we're always coping with something. As always, we leave you with a great devotional. I'm reading back again. Jesus calling. This says, when things seem to be going all wrong, stop and affirm your trust in me. Calmly bring these matters to me and leave them in my capable hands. Leave them there. Then simply do the next thing. Stay in touch with me through thankful, trusting prayers, resting in my sovereign control. Rejoice in me. Exult in the God of your salvation. As you trust in me, I make your feet like the feet of a deer. I enable you to walk, to make progress upon your high places of trouble, suffering, or responsibility. When things are going wrong, remember what is right. Jesus, he can do it for you. Thank you guys so much for joining us today for Coping with Trey Taylor. Until the next time, I wish you peace and abundant blessings. Take care. Stay well. God bless. And if you're going to be out and about with large crowds, especially inside, don't forget to wear your mask over your nose and under your chin. I'll see you soon.
Coping, find peace of mind to survive through whatever. Coping, learning the way that we thrive all together. Coping, finding out what's real. Coping, we can heal, we can heal, we can heal. Coping with stress, coping with strife, bringing hope for success, for improving our life. Coping beyond hoping to do more than survive, ways to live a healthy life. Coping and promoting, learning what you can do, 6 ways to a better you. Coping, find peace of mind to survive